Guys, welcome to our second movie review. Today we watched Memento by Christopher Nolan, which is a postmodernist film. And today we're going to be discussing some of the merits and characteristics and things that we
Yeah.
found pretty cool about this movie. So, Abby, could you discuss some of the merits? Um,
So this was like one of the movies that really confused me. Like at the end, I thought the ending was a little bit like it was open to interpretation. It left a lot for the audience. Also similar to like Dutchman, at least I feel like it's kind of like it feels
mm,
unfinished in a way. Also because the movie is kind of set up in a way where you start with like two plot lines, from the
yeah.
beginning, which is in black and white, and the end, which is in color, and he's going
And
backwards and forwards in time, and they kind of meet in the middle at the end. So that's probably
yeah.
why. Like I felt like
Mm-hmm.
it was kind of incomplete. I guess there was no like grand ending, especially like when you see like, typical Disney movies and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, because we figured out that the color part of the movie was going backwards and the black and white was going forward. So since we ended in the middle, it's kind of like we had what we started with and what we ended with, and then you had to figure out what happened in between that got
Yeah.
you to that end result.
It was a lot of
So it's
putting
kind of like
together,
solving a mystery.
yeah, putting together the
Yeah.
pieces of a puzzle. Also, just like
Yeah.
the character's journey himself, main character Lenny, of course, he's also trying to put together this big puzzle of his life essentially, and why he can't seem to remember things and why he has to write down notes. And
Yeah.
so I think the way that the movie was directed and like put together in this way also kind of like made it so that the audience had to kind of decipher what he was doing too, which is
Yeah.
something I feel like you only see in postmodern films, not really anything before that.
Mhm. Yeah, I just found that the interweaving of the future and the present, it was definitely like kind of prodding you to like why did this happen? How did he get there? It was kind of interesting because that was how the director, I guess, wanted us to like go about this story. And I mean, there was a lot of psychological elements in this movie too, which is probably why Mr. Kershaw made us watch it in AP Psych. But that definitely also added to the complexity of the movie. So yeah.
Yeah. And Faith, former AP Psych scholar, do you want to explain some of the things he was going through?
Okay. So, um, there were some concepts that happened in the movie, like anterograde amnesia, which is what Le- Leonard has. So basically, he has all his memories up until the incident where he got this amnesia, and then after that, because it's anterograde amnesia, he can't form any new memories, which also means that he basically has short-term memory loss. So because of that, we have to like as the audience following Leonard through this mystery, we have to keep in mind that he doesn't remember what actually happened. So that's
Yeah.
one. And there was also conditioning that was introduced in the movie. It was talking about how Sammy Jenkins, this guy who Leonard thought he interrogated, um, basically couldn't respond to repeated practices, I guess, because I don't know, it's kind of a lot to explain. But
Yeah.
basically that those are some concepts that were in the movie. So yeah.
Yeah. And then also, like, I feel like Lenny's like psychological disorders kind of contribute, like push the plot forward, because for one,
Yeah.
we kept seeing the same scenes kind of over and over again, both in black and white and in color, and it was just like it kind of felt like deja vu. And then for the second
Yeah.
one, I feel like he thought he was really in control of his life. Like he had all his notes. He was like, all right, I
Yeah.
got my files, I have my tattoos to remember what I'm doing here in the first place. And it's just like, um, he really wasn't. He was like really being manipulated by Teddy. He wasn't in control of his life at all. And yeah, and he was just being
Yeah.
used as like a pawn to this bigger story when he really thought that he was like, all right, I'm good. Like I got this down. But yeah.
Yeah, and like besides the fact that he was in fact a pawn of Teddy's, um, Teddy even like told him that, oh, you have to investigate yourself, which we found was pretty philosophical and kind of a point for us to ponder. But yeah.
Okay, guys, so we have a little review for all our lovely viewers.
Mm-hmm.
Solid 4 out of 5 stars.
Yep.
And honestly, it wasn't a 5 out of 5 for me because it was just extremely confusing. Like, after we finished the movie, I had to ask Faith, like, what exactly happened? And also because it kind of felt incomplete and I like those big grand endings. But that's just like personal preference. And what about you, Faith?
Well, I mean, it was my second time watching it, so I definitely felt like there were a lot of little details that I didn't notice the first time around, but the second time I did, and I think it adds to the overall like memory that I have of it. It was pretty good. I like the mystery. So
Yeah.
yeah, I would also give it a 4 out of 5 stars though because it is a bit confusing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And in the
and we
end,
have a quote here that we
yes.
would like to end with.
So we all lie to ourselves to be happy. There's nothing wrong with that. We all do it.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
watching our podcast.